Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great holiday-shortened week. Today is June 2, 2023, the first Friday of the last month of the second quarter. We're almost done with Q2, and the first half of the year is almost gone. Can you believe this? This is your Friday planning video. And there's so much going on, I'm tempted to share video updates with you more often than twice a week, but I'll stick to Monday and Friday for now. If you want more updates, please call and let's talk more. I'll be back Monday with a market update video. I hope you're finding it easier to catch the videos now that they're posted directly to the new website. The website address right here on the screen, in the show notes, and even in the email. Let's talk about some important planning items. I have some updates on some old items, and I want to talk about some tales from the front line. First, as I'm sure you know by now, as we speak today, Congress has now approved the new credit card for the U.S. government. The debt ceiling news will once again fade into the sunset when the president signs the bill tonight. We can get back to focusing on what's really going on. Before we leave, though, let's talk about one thing that is really changing with this deal. By the way, unlike 2011, this deal does not really change things so much. We had some risk if they really cut spending, but not so much of that happened. And remember the sequestration issues and the defense spending getting gutted. None of that happened this time. So the one item that I want to bring back to you is student loans. Yes, that 3-year holiday from paying your debt, it's about to be over. Yes, I've been talking to you about this on and off since it started, and we'll keep going. But note that come September 1st, these payments should start up again. Action item. If you have these loans, please dust off your statements, log on to your lender, and get set back up. I hope many of you have been paying all along, as we've discussed here many times, since payments during the time when there was no interest accruing went directly to principal and hopefully made a bigger dent in that number. Of course, there's still the Biden debt forgiveness that's sitting at the Supreme Court right now, but it doesn't look good for that. After the opening arguments, recall that I reported that it looked grim for the court to rule in the president's favor. But as we know, that's why we have the court case, to see who wins. If you want an indication on this, though, go to something that happens pretty rarely, action in Congress. Congress voted in the House 218 to 203 and the Senate 52 to 46 to endorse a resolution to overturn the Biden write-off of $400 billion in student loan debt. It still sits with SCOTUS, but we'll have to see what happens next. Please don't count on this, in my opinion. Always have the chance to be surprised by one less bill to pay, but prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Okay, that's the update. Let's talk about tales from the front line. Let's talk about budgeting and how we can look at this going into the second half of the year. I've been pretty diverse in meetings in the past few weeks, from newlyweds to widows, from newborn savings plans to centenarians, and the planning for that. One of the important things we've spoken about in these meetings is the need to save and invest over the long term and consistently. One of the monthly reports that we look at is the systematic withdrawal and systematic investment plans that we have in place for you. This is so important. We've spoken about the use of this in the retirement planning end, and that so many of you have 401k plans and other corporate plans that have you deferring and investing a part of your income every 2 weeks or every month. As we've seen, there's a good reason that in so many cases your retirement plans become your largest asset aside from your home as you get older. This can, and in many cases should, be done outside of those retirement accounts as well. As you work on your monthly budget, simple record keeping, if your cash savings, the bank account or other, now don't forget what we've been talking about in these calls for the last couple of weeks now, cash management with interest rates so high on your cash. But if month to month your cash accounts are growing, you're spending less than you're making. Great job. And you may want to evaluate if any of that free cash flow can and should be invested for your longer term goals. Yes, house purchases, education costs, vacations, and even healthcare. So if you're taking withdrawals, do you need the amount you're taking? If you're doing the required minimum distributions from your IRA, remember what I always tell you, the government requires you take it out. It does not require that you spend it. If you save some of that, invest some of that, if you're not spending it all now, you can put it towards your other goals. If you're not sending money into your investments monthly, it may be something you should consider doing. This is different for everyone, but it very well could be a great addition to your investment plan. I'll leave the idea of dollar cost averaging for next week. I've spoken about it before. Just know that there are important facts about systematic investing and withdrawals that need to be addressed, specifically to properly manage your cash flow and how it may vary. But as you know, this is what we discuss when we talk about your goals. What they are, how we can get there, what flexibility is needed in the money, and what time frame we have for the investments. As we discuss that and the overall plan to reach your goals, please think about the systematic investment plan. We'll review how it can work for you and your goals. As we start the final month of the quarter and the first half of the year, let's really evaluate how we're doing towards those goals. I look forward to meeting with you and talking to you soon about it. Have a great weekend.